Greetings, my Unplugged fans. Enrico Nardini here at Historicon 2013, and I'm here with Ernie Baker, the mind behind a very successful recent Kickstarter, All Quiet on the Martian Front, Martians versus Americans in like the World War I era, the return of the Martian invasion, and you guys had a brilliantly successful Kickstarter, so why don't we start right there? Tell our fans about like what's All Quiet all about and how this all got started.
Okay, well, I'm a really big H.G. Wells fan, and while I love The War of the Worlds, the original novel, it's pretty difficult to do that as a successful war game. So I started thinking about that over many years, and it kind of built up in my mind as time went by. I'm a huge history buff at the same time. I really like Teddy Roosevelt's particular era as president, and it just seemed to me that all that stuff kind of came together. So we did The Martians Coming Back, because I never really bought the idea that just being killed off by the flu would be enough to stop them. So we bring the Martians back. Now they land in remote places of the world, and in 1910 that would have been Arizona, New Mexico, and whatever. And then the Martians keep sweeping towards the Mississippi River, and then suddenly all that industrial might that America is starting to build in the first part of the last century comes to forebear. So now it's war, and that's what this game is all about. It's a game of war, not a skirmish game. It's a full-out war. To get that right, we had to think hard about the scale. 15 millimeters seemed to be just the right balance to be able to do big tripods, nice big tanks, and still have enough model left to do some character to the infantry and all the rest, and play it on a 4x6 foot table.
And that's one of the things I think people coming to the show and seeing the tanks in person, you get a real sense of the scale. This is 15 millimeter, but these are some big chunky tanks.
Well, that's right, because 15 millimeter allows us to do things like those really giant land ironclads that are 12 inches long. Now, if that was a 28 millimeter model, you go, well, that's big. But in 15 millimeter, that's huge, and that's what we're really after.
Absolutely. Now, Ernie, one thing that I noticed on your Kickstarter that I thought was really fascinating was you guys did a pre-Kickstarter drive, which is something I had not seen up to this point. And for those who are thinking about starting a Kickstarter, I've seen some other pre-Kickstarters now afterwards. You guys are kind of trendsetters in that way. What was the inspiration behind that, and how do you feel that worked? How successful was it?
I think it was successful for us, but you have to remember that Alien Dungeon is a business that's not even really a year old. So who knows who Alien Dungeon is? We have no awareness. So if we're going to go do a Kickstarter, we just would suddenly appear. We've done one before. We did Fantaside, which is just basically the fantasy rule book that we did, and that was a warm-up for us. But people don't know who we are. So we drove the idea of awareness about All Quiet on the Martian Front by doing a pre-Kickstarter campaign. And the real goal with that was to try to get as many people signed up and aware for the Kickstarter to start spreading that word. And that allowed us, when we hit Kickstarter, to do really well. The first 24 hours was a great run for us. And I think if we would not have done a pre-Kickstarter sign-up, it would have taken a lot longer for people to find us.
Absolutely. And now, big success on Kickstarter. You guys are now chugging along, yep. Production and all those things. What is like the latest update for Play Unplugged fans who may have jumped on the Kickstarter? What's like the latest thing you guys have done? I
just finished doing the final design layout for the plastic steam tanks, which is a direct result of our success on the Kickstarter. We had never planned to do those in plastic, so that's well. I would say that 80% of the sculpting is either completed or started. We're starting to see production parts on the metal already. All the vendors are lined up. All the plastic stuff is on its way. So overall, we're doing pretty well. We're about 5 to 6 weeks out from the final manuscript commitment date, which gives us just a little bit more time to tweak those rules and work with the play test groups to bring it together. So far, so good. The one thing from an attitude standpoint about our company, though, is that we're after quality. And we're always after quality over quantity, and we're always about communication and listening. And one of the things we want to do is, as we go, we're going to be showing a lot of this material on our forums. And that's part of our update process, too. Here's what you signed up for. This is what you committed to. You're going to buy these models. Here's what these models look like. What do you think? Because I want that feedback before we commit all the way through. And the second thing is, well, I think we're definitely going to be on time, and I'm feeling really good about that. What I'm not going to do is compromise our delivery date or the quality of our models for the delivery date. So if we end up being late, it's only going to be because I want to make sure the models deliver. and no nonsense about letting you know we're late a week ahead of time. We'll know sooner, and we're going to keep everybody in the loop on that.
And it seems like with the community, especially with Kickstarter being such a, with tabletop gaming, it's really exploded the industry, made the industry grow exponentially. I think that's kind of the secret. Just as long as you guys are communicating, that's usually not an issue.
Well, I think that I would make a point of difference with you, because I'm not sure that Kickstarter has grown the industry. I think Kickstarter has made it possible for people like me and others to create new product and get it in the market, and that's really good. But I think one of the things that we all must remember about Kickstarter is that it's great, but if we don't have brick and mortar stores in 5 years or 10 years' time, all the Kickstarters in the world aren't going to find a place for people to play. So
Absolutely.
I'm keen about that, and it's one of the reasons why when we get into September and this fall, we're going to be working on our own kind of a trade Kickstarter drive thing. But the trade accounts out there, they need our love and support too. So we don't want to just move money from the rest of the industry into Kickstarter. We want to make sure that Kickstarter benefits everybody with our programs. I don't know when or if even we'll do another Kickstarter. We'll see what happens over time.
I love that philosophy. We're big, strong supporters of Play Unplugged because we want our mission is face-to-face gaming. We want those local game stores, your friendly local game store, to thrive. So I love hearing that.
Well, that's good. If it wasn't for that hobby champion, that guy that decides to leap into a new product and then putting games on at the store and all the stuff that goes with that, that's what drives this business as far as I'm concerned. So we've got to always remember those guys, and we've got to take care of them.
So what is in the, and I know that you have to sometimes keep things like top secret, things like that, but what's most exciting for you in the future for All Quiet?
Oh, well, the most exciting thing is to actually get it in the marketplace and take that seed, because the biggest reward for me out of Kickstarter wasn't the money. The biggest reward for me out of Kickstarter was the people that are into this game. And I'm talking to them all the time, and I really encourage people to get involved with us. We listen. Come to our forums, talk to us about what you want this game to be. We're going to design it by committee, but we're going to certainly listen to what people want, because we're gamers making games for gamers. That's what we're all about. And that seed group, and we've got some great people on our Kickstarter, that community is all important to me. So the first thing I want to do is keep building and growing that community, and we got a lot of plans to do that. And then the second thing is I really want to get this in the market and get it into trade accounts and get people playing the game. And we'll learn from there also how well it's been received. I think people are going to really like it, but that'll help us get some shape to what the future is. We've got 2 more books that we want to do. We don't want to do army books. What we want to do is game expansions. And we're really keen to do that. But I'm excited about that second phase, but not until I get the first one delivered.
Once again, quality over quantity.
Absolutely. That's what's important. I want to make sure that when people sign up for an Alien Dungeon Kickstarter or buy any product from Alien Dungeon, that they get satisfied with their purchase. That's really important to me.
Awesome. Ernie, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. We really appreciate it. If people want to find out more information, where should they go?
AlienDungeon.com. We're in the process of rebuilding that website into a new one, but that's a good landing place right now. We're also on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're all over the place. I think we've got about 10 websites going right now. We're consolidating that all down to one. And that'll also lead you into our forums. If you go to any of our blogs or our website or our Facebook page, you can find a place to come to our forum. And that's where we want you to come, okay? Come talk to us. That's our way to talk to everybody in the world, is through our forum.
Well, folks, this is Enrico Nardini with Ernie Baker. Like Alien Dungeon, Play Unplugged is all over the internet, so make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and check out the links below for more information. And once again, Ernie, thank you so much.